Hi, welcome to this video where we're going to look at the statistical measure of the mean. Mean is often referred to as the average of a set of scores, and often students will learn a rule of adding all the scores together and dividing by the number of scores. Now that's our endpoint. What we want is for students to be fluent and to understand why that rule works, why we use it, and if we can get them to understand that, we have a greater chance of them remembering it and using it appropriately when they're tasked with much harder problems. Okay, so I've started with a small data set here of just 5 students, and their ages range from 8 to 13. Now, when we're finding the mean, what we're wanting to find is if we reallocated their ages so that they were all equal, what would that be? Let me show you what I mean by that. We've got our 5 students, and I'm going to give them the number of matchsticks for their age. Now, what we're looking at doing is reorganizing or resorting their ages, each year of age, into 5 groups so that each group has the same amount. 5 groups because we have 5 students. So we can bundle these together or add them together, and that's the reason why we would find the sum of the ages, the total of the ages, because we're making this a pool of years combined. And now we're going to reallocate that, divide it, share it equally among 5 groups. So I've added the scores together into one general pool of ages, and now we're going to distribute them. And we can do that one at a time, or we can start doing 2 at a time. So what we can see is that each of them now has 10, and that's what we want when we find the average. We want to find if we add them all together, combine their ages, and redistribute so that each has an equal share, how many would they receive? So by doing this with small sets of data, getting kids to reallocate, what we want them to see is that they were adding all of these together, that was giving them a total of 50. And then they were sharing that equally between the number of people that were there. And it's much easier if you're using a context and saying something like people and ages rather than just a list of numbers which really have no meaning to students at all. You can see that you get the common age there of 10. Now this will also assist them for later on when they're told or given much harder questions, like saying we have 5 students, their average age is 10, and we bring in another student, let's find one over here that has an age of 9. What is the new mean? They're very challenging problems for students. They often struggle with those. But if they're used to doing this and have built up an understanding of why this works, then when we add an extra student in and we ask how it affects the mean, they're much better equipped to be able to solve it. I hope you've enjoyed this video on mean. There are other videos on mode and median if you haven't already seen those, but also check out our website learningu.com.au where we have free online workshops for teachers looking at how you can use manipulatives when you're teaching mathematics. Thank you.